Chris, how are you?
I'm doing
How
well.
are you doing, Chris?
Well, if you'd stop yelling at me, I'd tell you that I'm doing well.
Hey everybody, Bob Carr here for the Bob Carr Show. In this episode, I'm delighted to have in the studio this morning, Chris Engler. Chris, how in the world did we first meet?
I'm thinking back, and I think it seems to be the Chamber of Commerce. We met there at the Greater Crofton Chamber of Commerce.
Okay, been a couple years.
Quite a few. A lot more than I probably would like to admit. We worked on some charity events. We raised a bunch of money for those folks. I made a lot of friends. Met you, which has been good and bad in a lot of ways.
So when did you start your business, Chris?
Right around that time, 2004.
Same time?
Yeah, about halfway through 2004 is when I started with my business.
And has your business changed much?
It changes dramatically day to day, month to month, and year to year. My business now is completely unrecognizable from what it was when I first started it. I started out doing computer repair at a local computer repair shop, and I started helping businesses, and I found that businesses needed more help than people, so I geared my business towards helping small businesses with computers, because back then it was really hard to make a computer work reliably. And nowadays, we pretty much have that down. I mean, they're still finicky, the hardware can still be problematic from time to time, but for the most part, we've got those wrinkles ironed out. So
Gotcha.
We help businesses improve their processes by leveraging modern technology.
Did you miss anything from the old days that you wish it was still here?
It's just different challenges now.
Okay.
So, back then, I would say back in 2004, it was all about trying to get folks to invest the right amount of their money into good hardware, because people saw computers as always breaking. So why would I bother investing more in something that's going to break? I'll probably just have more expensive bills. The benefit back then, and the benefit's still there today, is if you spend just a little more, maybe 10% more on your equipment, then you will eliminate a lot of the problems.
Are customers, you think, more demanding now with the technology sped up?
I would say that, it's not that they're less challenging. The old problems that we used to have, those are easier to solve in conversation, because it's more apparent to people what those problems were that we were focusing on 15, 20 years ago. There's a lot of folks that are still, they're mired in this place where they just don't want to spend any money for anything. I'm going to go off a little tangent here, because I'm reminded about a little story that I know about you. And it was
I knew that was going to come up.
It's something that you said that stuck with me. It's something that I carry around with me pretty much everywhere. There was a discussion going on in the office over here. It had to do with like how much you're willing to pay somebody. And I remember you said something like, I would love to pay somebody $1 million a year. And the rationale behind that is that if I'm paying this person $1 million a year, they're probably generating $5 or $10 million in revenue for my business. And that really gets somebody thinking. Because there's a lot of people out there that don't want to spend $1 million a year.
Are you doing business now out of the area? Or are you still concentrating in the metropolitan area? Or are you doing things across country?
Mainly, I focus on folks that I can drive to.
So you still like to be hands-on? You still like to meet somebody?
Yes, I do. I mean, that's my personal preference, and
Sure.
it's usually the preference of my clients as well. But because of what I built with my business and the way it's structured, I'm actually part of a nationwide co-op of other IT folks. We have together the largest footprint of any other IT company in the country.
And I know you won't admit it, but you might, but I don't think you take any credit for it. I know you got a great relationship with Dell Computers.
I do. I mean, I wish I could say it's better.
No, but I mean, but you can get anything repaired in the different programs they have for you and your purchasing power. When
it comes to hardware, we want to make sure that we're getting hardware. All of our equipment needs to be coming from a vendor that we trust.
Sure.
To give us good quality hardware. And if something happens with that hardware, they will come out and fix it promptly and have the repair done very quickly.
Chris, appreciate you coming in today, hopping on this episode of the Bob Carr Show. And again, thanks for tuning in to the Bob Carr Show, and we'll see you next week for another another episode of The Bob Carr Show. Thanks for watching this episode of The Bob Carr Show. Make sure you hit the subscribe button below, and we'll see you next week with a new episode of The Bob Carr Show. Talk to you soon.